Mumbai city, approximately 75,000 houses get sold every year. Sobo, out of this, is 30%.
Mumbai, you'd think, people have good spaces to live in, but that's not the reality at all.
What do you think about this whole slum rehab thing?
They don't have any privacy. They're living in small spaces. There's no breathing space. If a guest comes over to their house, and this is a reality I've seen, if someone comes into their house, 3-4 people have to leave the house. Even platforms like CRE Matrix IndexTap of yours, they help me a lot.
Welcome back to AKG Talks. Today's show is very special. Why do I say that? Number one, we're going to talk about Sobo, South Mumbai. That's where I was born. My Nani house is still there. Number two, for the first time at AKG Talks, we have a special guest, a young, budding entrepreneur, Mr. Hitesh Avhad from Avhad Group, and I would love to welcome him and talk to him about his journey so far and the future. So welcome to my show.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
So Hitesh, to begin with, what actually led you to become a developer and how has the journey been so far?
So I never really wanted to be a developer. I was always wanted to be a DJ, a music producer. So I've done multiple courses and I have a DJ set at home also and I play for fun. Those things are still on. But what led me to become a developer is for sure the pandemic. Because when the pandemic happened and you read news about, people living in slums who don't have good conditions to live in. And people all across Mumbai, they were struggling, they were in joint families, you needed a separate bathroom. If someone got infected, they need to be quarantined, right? All of those things, when I used to read that news, I was like, this is maddening. Because Mumbai, you'd think, people have good spaces to live in, but that's not the reality at all. So that's what led me to become a developer. Also because my dad was into the industry since 25 years. So I thought, I never wanted to, but I said, okay, it's the pandemic, everything's shut. Let me try this out. Let me see if I can add value. I did. And that's how I started my real estate journey. It's been a roller coaster ride till now. And it's not been easy, but I've learned a lot of things and I'm very happy. And I'm happy that recently we have rehabilitated 250 people in a SRA project and they used to live in very bad conditions, in squalid conditions. And today they are thanking us. They're coming to the office, they're coming with sweets, and that's what makes me happy.
So that leads me to my next question. Slum rehab, which is so popular in Bombay, and it's a need of the hour or the need of the decade, right?
Correct.
And you guys have mastered that art, and there's a social impact to it.
Correct.
Right? We know that the kind of shanties they live in, and you mentioned about sanitation, you mentioned about so many other things. What do you think about the social impact, or what do you think about this whole slum rehab thing?
So first of all, when you think of slums, there is no proper hygiene. We people are living in conditions that a human being should not be living in. Because you see, they don't have any privacy. They're living in small spaces. There's no breathing space. If a guest comes over to their house, and this is a reality I've seen, if someone comes into their house, 3-4 people have to leave the house and roam around in the gullies and all of those places because there is no space. So when you sort of go to these people, understand their problems and tell them, okay, I'm going to redevelop, and most of them are positive. Most of them are, yes, we need this. This is the need. So they're all okay and they're for it and they want to do it. So then we talk to them, we have our negotiations with them, and then what finally we do is we deliver a great building to them. Trust me, they become very happy. They become very happy because that's what they wanted. Like you said, a house is a once in a lifetime dream for everyone. Everyone wants to, khud ka ghar hona chahiye is everyone's mentality. कि खुद का रेंट पे भी रहता तो that guy is thinking नहीं खुद का घर मेरे को चाहिए. And these people get their own house with proper water, electricity, and this is what I tell a lot of people. When you move from a slum to a building, automatically your lifestyle changes, your thinking changes. Now you become a person who's living in a building and not in a chawl.
Yeah.
So now you become this person who is thinking in a very different way than you usually would. So, and that is very good for the kids, the next generation. They are not living in the slums.
But then I want to add one more aspect to this. It's not only about SRA, right? You're also delivering SRA in Sobo, right? We've all heard Sobo, and we all stand-ups often talk about Sobo having this, up in the. So you're actually delivering a lifestyle, a house in this quote-unquote South Bombay. And just to step back a little, and why is South Bombay so important, and why is it such a elite thing, right? Just for my viewers, I want to share some statistics, and which is people know me for, right? In the year 2022, Mumbai city sold apartments of approximately 74,000. In value terms, this was 1,20,000 crores. In the year 2023, units sold in Mumbai were 75,000. In value terms, this was 1,30,000 crores. Great! South Mumbai, on the other hand, in the year 2022, sold units of approximately 14,700. In value terms, it was 39,000 crores. In 2023, units sold were 14,800. In value terms, it was 47,000. Wow! Now let me also tell you our projected numbers or predictions for the year 2024. For Mumbai city, we predict units sold will be 82,000. In value terms, it will be 1,42,000 crores. Whereas South Bombay, in the same year, 2024, we predict units sold will be 16,300, and in value terms, it will be 51,000 crores. People last 5, 6, 7 years when BKC happened, Bandra, Juhu, Borivali happened, people said, Sobo to khatam ho gaya. Sobo is history. Maybe that could be true for Kolaba, because there's not much happening there thanks to the CRE guidelines or whatever it could be. But there's so much more to Sobo than just, there's Lower Parel, there's now upcoming Dadar, Matunga, Mahim. There's so much more happening there as well. So I would generally say Sobo is not written off at all. On the contrary, Sobo is back. And if you can give new houses to these slum guys in this premium real estate, and when I say premium, I say it with a lot of responsibility, premium in a very, very premium city, who's also a metropolis city in the world, right? That's Sobo to me. So उसमें slum rehab देना is a बहुत बड़ी बात है.
See, this is what I tell those slum dwellers also. There are some people in a slum scheme that might oppose you. This is what I tell them. Today, your property is not even worth lakhs, but I'm giving you a house worth crores.
Wow.
So look at the appreciation you're getting. Just by bearing with me for 18 months, 24 months, look at the appreciation you're getting. And you don't even have to do anything. You have to take rent, vacate that place for me and let me build a house for you.
So then, young man, how would you explain them, how would you instill confidence in them? कि बाबा ये बंदा मुझे वाकई में 18 महीने बाद घर दे देगा. How does that magic work?
So this is a huge problem in the industry. The minute I stepped into the industry, I realized there's this problem. When I spoke to tenants, when I spoke to a bunch of people, I spoke to some consultants, the first problem that I realized, there's no trust left in the industry. No one trusts developers. Today, developer is not a good guy.
Yeah.
Developer is a very bad guy who's going to take your money and run off and going to pay you 2 months rent and never going to give you rent and just going to sit on that rent. So first of all, transparency is very important. Whatever you're doing at whatever stage, you have to be transparent about that. Second thing, like I said, some things just don't come by you convincing them, right? You have to actually show your work. So what we did in this particular project is we gave 24 months of rent on the first day itself.
Upfront?
Upfront.
Wow.
So then the question of will this guy pay me rent just goes away. Because I've already given the rent.
Super.
And these people also understand that if he's investing so much money and he is confident enough that in 24 months, because finally they also understand that I'm putting out a huge chunk of my money and giving it to them, right?
Yeah.
They understand that developer ne paisa nikal ke humko diya hai. So I'm sure he is also confident. Otherwise, no developer will just give rent upfront. So that is what we have done. And luckily my father, he has 25 years of experience and he is a master of slum. I don't think anyone knows slums as good as him. And because, his journey has been such that he has stayed in slums himself. He himself has stayed in slums. So he connects with the people. He understands their problem. There is a plot that we have which used to come under CRZ, now it does not. We had that plot since 2012. These people were with my dad. And then I think in 2016, the CRZ guidelines changed. So from 2011, my dad has been taking care of their family functions. If there's a death in their family, he attends it. He connects with the people. And he understands their problem. And this is not just out of, I want to get profit and I want to connect with them because, there is something in it for me. It is purely because he's seen that life, he knows what it is, and he understands the people. The reason, that day also you saw so many people sitting outside, and we have a lot of people coming in. They just connect with dad in a different way.
Wow.
And that's why there's been a lot of confidence that, people in the area have shown.
So Hitesh, you gave me a beautiful word called transparency, right?
Correct.
And you also said that it's missing in real estate, whether it's between the home buyer and the developer or the home buyer and the broker. So you as a young professional entrepreneur, how are you tackling transparency for the home buyer?
So because I'm young, I'm trying to get a lot of digitalization into the company. So what I try to do is make sure as many things as possible are digital and can be accessed from anywhere. Now, you don't need to come to me to understand things. I'll give you certain links, I'll give you certain documents that you can go through and understand. You don't have to trust me, you have to trust data. That's why I say, I also focus on a lot of data. So even in my developments, I make sure that I study data thoroughly so that I can give for that particular micro market the desired product. So even platforms like CRE Matrix IndexTap of yours, they help me a lot. They help me so much because, I go through a lot of data, I study data, not from the current point of view, but also from a futuristic point of view. And I put that, and I honestly see that working. All my developments are data driven, and I can see the kind of reaction when I tell people this is the product we are coming up with. They go like, this is exactly. Buyer who is, who's looking for a house in that location will tell me this is exactly what I'm looking for. And that's why data helps me a lot.
But everything, right? Not just data. It's also about you allowing them to see the rendering of their houses, allowing them to see what they can see from their house. So what they can see in the house, what they can see outside the house, all digitally.
Also what they can do of their house, right? What they can convert it into. So a bare shell apartment versus what you can make it into. So that really, makes the customer happy because it's a dream. Not everyone can buy a house every day, right? It's once in a lifetime thing.
Sure.
So you need to make the experience in such a way that even if he doesn't buy a house from me, he's at least, driven that nahi ghar to lena hi hai.
नहीं तो आपने नया benchmark बना दिया है ना अभी. All these younger guys have, and allow me to say this, India is getting more and more younger, and India is getting more and more digitized, right? I see young people buying 20 रुपए का वड़ा पाव, 25 रुपए का नींबू पानी और नारियल पानी and paying through Paytm, right?
Correct.
So I don't think the world is that far from people wanting to even buy a house. I'm not saying they'll swipe a credit card, but they want to see everything digital.
Correct.
They can probably see it in pajamas, sitting at home, right? Whether it's a mobile app, whether it's a website, whatever it may be. So all of these things are also happening to real estate as well, and people like you are doing it.
Correct. So the thing about real estate is no matter how much you digitalize it, how much tech you add into it, finally the customer would want to come on that plot and would want to.
Sure.
But what these things do is they help you shortlist.
Yeah.
They help you shortlist. So the customer does not have to spend his entire Sunday roaming around with his broker. Ye plot pe bhi chalo, wo plot pe bhi chalo. They have it in their hands, and then they can be like, "Arey nahi, ye acha hai, idhar se view acha hai." They don't have to. They are saving so much time, which is so important in house hunting. Because once you go out house hunting, there are multiple options.
Sure.
You can keep looking and looking and looking and never be satisfied.
So this marriage, what you're referring to is marriage of technology and therefore getting this transparency, right? When
Correct.
these two come together, the double T, that really makes a big difference, and that disruption in what can be in real estate.
Correct.
Right? That's what you're trying to say.
Like you said, these kids from the villages are doing Paytm. So I believe that technology is the future. And what we're trying to do is incorporate a lot of technology that maybe the industry has not even seen or not even thought of. We want to get that technology because we want to make processes easier. Understand that this is a very traditional industry. It has been run in a very traditional way. I want to change that. I have identified certain problems, and I really think technology is the way ahead.
Super. So allow me to step back a minute from this double T and technology and transparency, and if I can ask you, where are the next launches in the year 2024 coming from this group,
So,
and why those locations?
So I'll just give you a bit of history. So what our expertise is really land acquisition. So what we have done is found very good land parcels in good locations. So what we first identify is location. Location is very important for us.
Sure.
Because see, everyone can make a 2 BHK, but at that exact location, so you can't change the location as much. So location is very important for us. Most of our launches, we make sure they happen in prime locations. So our next launches, you asked, they're coming in Matunga, Dadar, Prabhadevi, Mahim. We have a bunch of launches coming up. And all these locations, when I launch them and when you see them, you'll be like, this is the perfect. No one will deny my flat because of location. That I can guarantee.
नहीं तो हम तो बचपन से from the time I understood real estate, it was always said location. तो वो तो कोई dispute कर ही नहीं रहा.
Correct.
And what you're trying to say is a location is critical, and then you're able to create magic or houses there at probably the most affordable or the most apt price, which we've done all the research possible. Correct. So that's like a win-win-win in all senses.
Correct.
But tell me more about these projects and what is the big USP that you would bring to the table for any one project, let's say, जो सबसे जल्दी launch होने वाला है.
So I'll tell you about जो सबसे जल्दी launch हो रहा है, वो हमारा माटुंगा का project है. वो project में like I said location, तो मैं वापस वो सब repeat नहीं करता.
Correct.
But location is the key. What is also important is that we are coming up with a size of an apartment that is apt for that location.
Okay.
And that people really want to buy. So this is where I say a lot of data study has happened, where we have analyzed, what kind of houses people want, what is the space. See, today's buyer wants to buy a larger apartment because he understands मेरे बच्चे बड़े हो गए. Earlier this mentality was not there, but post COVID this has all changed. They understand मेरे बच्चे बड़े हो गए. They also need a proper size bedroom. They don't need a kid's bedroom, because if I make a kid's bedroom, someday I will have to shift.
Wow.
So these guys understand, and data shows that these guys understand. So the USPs are obviously the location, the size of the apartment, and we have tried incorporating as many amenities as possible into the project, because we also understand that when you come back from work, when your kids come back from school, they want to do something, and I truly believe community building is a very big thing. So when the people of your building come together, they enjoy certain activities. That is when you also as a person get 10 different ideas and understand other people's perspectives as well. And my only aim is anyone who buys a house in my property should be very happy.
Actually, that's a beautiful word you said, and I've been saying this since a lot of years, and COVID just accentuated the whole thing, which is community living, right? They want, अभी ना वो 20 apartments के project, 50 apartments के project are not really, there's a buyer for everything.
Correct.
But once you have a 300 apartment project where you have a set of people living, they are your family, extended family.
Correct.
Right? So that's a beautiful thing you mentioned. But then there's another thing which caught my attention. You mentioned Dadar, Matunga, Mahim, Prabhadevi. Is this by design? ये सारे के सारे Sobo में ही हैं. And today's topic was also, I was supposed, talking about Sobo. Why only South Bombay?
So you need to understand the Sobo market for that. People, like you said earlier, have said, ki Sobo, I read so many articles that said, has Sobo finished? Is it over? Has it been killed? And then you see the data, right? 30% of the sales of entire Mumbai are from South Mumbai.
Yeah.
The reason for that, excellent infrastructure. You've got the High Court, you've got the Bombay Stock Exchange, you've got excellent schools, excellent hospitals, you've got the best of best in this locality, and people want to shift here. And you also need to understand South Bombay has always been associated with luxury.
Yeah.
And a person coming to Mumbai, what is his dream? Anyone who's living in South Mumbai in the suburbs, his dream is someday I want to shift to South Mumbai.
Sure.
That is everyone's dream. And South Mumbai has a lot of potential. These numbers over the years, you'll only see them grow. You will not see them decline.
Coastal Road बन रहा है.
Correct.
Metro बन रहा है. Nava Sheva is already launched. Sea View यहीं पे है. That is the aspiration. Somehow Mumbaiites want the sea view, and they're ready to pay for the sea view, right?
जो आदमी मुंबई में आया है, उसका ड्रीम एक ही होता है, मुझे सी फेसिंग अपार्टमेंट चाहिए, मुझे एक सी फेसिंग अपार्टमेंट चाहिए, and that is the dream that we are trying to cater to.
नहीं तो उसमें मैं एक चीज और ऐड करूंगा, आप तो और भी कर रहे हो ना ड्रीम से ज्यादा, क्योंकि आप तो जिनको रिहैब कर रहे हो उनको भी सीव्यू दे रहे हो.
Correct.
So hats off to developers who do this. तो हितेश, काम की तो बहुत बात हो गई. Now some fun, right?
I'm in for it.
So brace yourself. We're going to do the rapid fire round, and you're going to be asked very quick questions. There's only one trick. It has to be quick answers.
Done.
चलो.
करते हैं.
Your favorite housing project in Sobo?
Ashok Towers.
Okay. Your favorite developer in Sobo?
Avhad.
ठीक है, ये अलाउड नहीं था, बट ठीक है, ये चला लेते हैं. If you were not a developer, what would you pursue?
A DJ and a music producer.
T-Series will be very happy to hear that. What would you prefer, or which brand would you prefer if you ever did a joint venture?
Godrej.
Fantastic. How would you do your lead generation? Digital, mandate broking, CP network, or something else?
As of now, CP network.
After Mumbai, which would that one city be where you would launch your next project?
Bangalore.
Wow. May I ask why?
I see Bangalore as a place which has got a lot of, because it is the IT hub, right? I see a lot of startups coming in, a lot of need for housing over there. So I see that as a good market.
You know how much is Bangalore's office stock? 210 million square feet. And Baki, rest of India, is about 500. So I completely agree with you. Bangalore is hep. Bangalore needs more houses. Just थोड़े roads थोड़े अच्छे हो जाए तो अच्छी बात है.
वो तो profit है.
What is that one aspect you would consider before launching your next housing project? Is it location, partner, profits, or something else?
I think you can answer that for me, but I'll just say it, location.
And बाकी सब चीजें can fit in well?
बाकी सब चीजें हो जाएगी. You can always, talk to your partners, get the right partners. You can always manage your profits. Luckily, we have clubbing of schemes. We can do 10 different things to make the project profitable. But what you won't get is location. Location is key.
So you really truly believe in work market inside.
Correct.
Right? कि land नहीं बन सकता और, so you better get it right.
Right.
So this was fantastic. Thank you so much for being part of my show. I wish you all the very best. नए घर बनाओ, अच्छे घर बनाओ. We all need it.
Thank you. Really enjoyed it, and we have
Thank
some
you.
exciting launches coming up.
All the best.
Thank you.
Hope you guys loved this edition of AKG Talks with our very special guest, Hitesh. I certainly loved it. So watch out for this space because we're going to have more such podcasts. And keep liking, sharing, and subscribing.